which in a way kind of gets us to, when I started talking today, I said that on the first course I went on, there were a couple of questions that I was asked. And the first is interesting. These questions, I got very excited about them. And I went and I started applying them literally in every situation, in the workplace and at home and that sort of thing. At times to the annoyance of my peers, I gotta say. But what I found, once I kind of got the hang of them and figured out how to use them effectively, was that just these two questions started transforming the results I got. And the first one was a very simple one, was the question, what do you want? What do you want? And the second one was a slightly different question, which is, how will you know you've got it? Now, this is a very general question. It can apply to any situation. It can, what do you want in respect of the conversation that you're having with someone? Or what do you want in respect of some piece of work you're setting out to do? What do you want in terms of the outcome of a session or a day? Or what do you want in terms of the kind of quality of experiences you want in your life? I was in a situation it's probably a month after I did that first course, and I was managing a project at the time. That was my old job. And I was invited into a meeting of publishing directors and stuff that was related to the project I was involved with. And I didn't really know the subject area under discussion, but I was brought in as a representative of the project. And so I sat down there in the meeting, and these people all started talking and blah, blah, going back and forth. And after about 10 or 15 minutes, I really got the strong idea that I had no idea what was going on. And here's the thing, I consider myself to be pretty bright, so if something's going on, I'll probably know what it is. And so I said, hey guys, would you mind if I just ask you a couple of questions for a second? And it may be stupid questions, but it may just help me to get a clearer idea of what's going on and help you guys to as well, maybe. I said, so the first question I'd like you all to consider is, in respect of what we're doing here today, what do you want? What is the outcome you want to get from today? And they all kind of went, And then I went around the room. I said, so, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And all the way around asking the question, what would you consider to be a successful outcome of the time we're spending together? And so they all came up with various answers, and they were, I said, okay, that's great. The second question is this: how will you know you've got it? What is it that's going to let you know that you've got what you want? What are you going to see? What are you going to hear? What are you going to feel that will let you know that this has been and is being successful for you? That you've got what you came for. I went around the room and asked everyone, how will you know you've got it? Now, at first when I asked that question, people said, well, I'll just know. And I said, I understand you'll know. And what I'm curious about is what your process of knowing is going to be. What is it that's going to let you know? And in some cases it was like, well, we'll see a list, an agreement to X, Y, and Z. In other cases, the person will say, I'll just have a feeling that we've, achieved consensus. And someone else says, well, it's by the quality of the discussion, I'll know that we've got what we want. And so everyone had their own ideas about it. But having gone through this process, we then managed to kind of form an outcome. And this was for only a 1-hour meeting, so it wasn't like we weren't deciding the future growth of the business or anything. Just what we wanted to get from that one meeting. Got to the end of the meeting, and the managing director pulled me to one side and said, that was amazing. I want to get you involved in all my meetings going forward. I'm like, oh, Christ. But what it meant was that once we'd found a more rational way of proceeding, that my status and credibility and influence within the organization suddenly got rocketed up by a significant amount, just by remembering and using those two questions. So having had that experience, I went, okay, I'm going to use these two questions all the time. I said, note to self, use these all the time to focus and direct your attention. And so that's what I did.